Have you ever felt like a cat chasing a laser beam? Jumping from one money-making idea to the next? Hoping this time it would be different, I have. Often. Every time a $1 million idea pops up online. I think this time I'm definitely going to make it. But less than a week later, I find myself back at square one. More confused, more skeptical, and honestly, more exhausted. It's called shiny object syndrome. It sounds funny, but it's actually very common whenever I see something new and shiny. I jump right in, forgetting that underneath the shiny exterior is a whole mess of uncooked spaghetti. And so I start repeating the cycle interest. Try, disappointment, quit. Before I can get too far, I turn around. But then, when I was drowning in a pile of life-changing opportunities that had yet to come to fruition, YouTube appeared, not as a savior, but as a mirror. I had been watching YouTube every day for years, but I never thought that I could be the creator of those things, not just the consumer. At first, I simply thought, why don't I try making videos? I didn't need to be famous right away. I didn't need to be as good as anyone else. I just wanted to try. And so I started. If you think I started with a cool video, with sparkling images, crystal clear audio, and a well-written script, then no. My first video was like a cake falling face down on the floor. You could tell it had potential. But in the end, it was just a mess. And you know what's funny? I still posted it. I had no experience in filming, no fancy equipment except an old phone, a cheap mic, and enough enthusiasm to mess everything up. The script was written as I thought. The lighting was flickering like a streetlight during a storm, and my voice was hesitant like a student suddenly called to the board. And yes, I absolutely did not dare to show my face. My face was still a state secret at that time. But you know what? In the midst of that disaster, something strange happened. I felt happy. For the first time in months or maybe years, I found myself actually doing something. Not looking for opportunities, not dreaming of wealth, not chasing after those get-rich-in-7 days things out there, but sitting down, writing a script however bad, shooting a scene how shaky and blurry, and editing until late at night with free software that would freeze every 5 minutes. It was the first time I had ever taken action, and it made me feel alive. After hitting post on that first video, I didn't expect much. I didn't even think I would look back. But then, like an adrenaline junkie, I kept opening the YouTube Studio app to check the view count. The result, 10 views, of which I think 6 were mine. It sounds funny, but to me at the time, it was a victory. Even though it was small and even though no one cared, it proved one thing I had started. And from that moment, I understood that YouTube is not a race of who is faster, and it is a journey of those who are brave enough not to stop. When I first started doing YouTube, I thought I was searching for the key to success, like a secret formula that someone just had to whisper to me. And then my life would turn a new page. But the more I did it, the more I realized YouTube is not a door that only opens once. It is like a small dirt road. The more I walk, the more clearly I see who I am. At first, I simply imitated others. When I saw someone tackling a hot topic, I rushed to follow suit, just like I would with a TikTok trend. When I noticed storytelling videos attracting viewers, I pulled out a few old stories to share. But there was one thing I couldn't imitate: real emotions. Then, one day, I stopped and asked myself if I had to tell a story that no one would watch. Would I still want to tell it? Surprisingly, the answer was yes. But it was my own story. The things I had experienced, thought about, and even laughed at because they felt so weird. From that moment on, I began making videos as if I were writing a diary. There was no need to be flashy, no need to follow anyone else. Just me, sharing what I truly wanted to express. And you know what? At that moment, for the first time in weeks, I felt lighter. There was no more pressure to post videos at the right time. No more worrying if the title wasn't exciting enough. No need to force myself to be someone I wasn't just to impress others. Instead, I learned to enjoy every little step, from coming up with ideas to recording, and to sitting late at night editing. I also gradually discovered the secret joys of being a YouTuber, for example. Learning how to add subtitles without being off by 5 seconds for the first time, or finding a little trick to create thumbnails that still look professional using Canva. These are small joys, but they make me feel like I'm improving every day. I don't need to prove anything to anyone, just realizing it is enough. YouTube is no longer a dream of a better life. It has become a companion. No pressure, no comparison, just quietly supporting me every time I sit down at my desk, turn on my laptop, and choose to continue. I don't remember which video was the first one that a stranger commented on, but I remember the feeling very clearly. It was late one evening, and I had just finished editing a video for the next day when my phone buzzed with a notification from YouTube Studio. I opened it and saw a short line, "Great content. Hope you make more." And I had to read it at least 3 times to make sure it wasn't my mom. Then it happened a few more times. A stranger said they watched my videos every morning for motivation. Another person said I was the reason they dared to try making their first video. At that time, even though my channel had fewer than 500 subscribers, I felt like I had hit the jackpot. Here's something I didn't understand before: the true joy of creating doesn't come from numbers, it comes from connections. There's nothing more heartwarming than a stranger somewhere on the planet taking a few minutes out of their life to watch a video you put your heart and soul into and then thanking you for it. I went from being a skeptic to a believer in the process. I started to make a habit of recording every little milestone. Not to brag, but to remind myself, hey, you're on the right track. The first 1,000 views, the first comment that wasn't from a friend, the first retweet, those little things were enough to make me smile all day long. The more I did it, the more I understood that YouTube isn't a sprint. It's more like a hike. Every day, you just take one step at a time, slowly but surely. And it's that steady but unhurried approach that keeps me going. I also started to see myself more clearly in each video. I know where I am strong and where I am weak. I know what narrative voice suits me and what editing style makes me happy. Gradually, I stopped comparing myself to others. I only compare myself today to who I was last week. Just a small step forward, and I am content. If you have come this far with me, you are probably in the middle of your own journey. You may still be skeptical, not seeing any big results yet. But I believe that those little signs, if we are patient and observant enough, will be the seeds of something bigger. We will explore that in the next part. After months of struggling with YouTube, I gradually realized one thing: doing YouTube is like planting a tree. Not every seed that is planted sprouts right away. Some seeds take weeks to germinate. Some seeds that are thought to be dead suddenly sprout after a few months. My YouTube channel is no exception. Some videos that I had high hopes for fizzled out like firecrackers, while others that I created in a hurry, just to post for fun, received much higher views. What I find most interesting is that the longer I continue, the more I understand what I want to do. Previously, I posted content randomly, trying whatever I saw others doing. But after a few dozen videos, I began to realize what kind of content excited me, what stories I was happy to tell, and what kind of feedback from viewers made me feel truly connected. I stopped asking, will this video get a lot of views? And started asking, will this video help me learn something? And will it communicate what I want to say? It felt like I wasn't just building a YouTube channel, I was building a better version of myself. This reminds me of the saying, you can't control the wind, but you can adjust the sails. I can't control the algorithm, but I can control how I tell my story. I can't make everyone watch my videos, but I can make the people who are watching feel that it's worth their time to stay. And that's probably the best thing YouTube has given me: not money or fame, at least not yet, but clarity. Clarity about who I am, what I stand for, and the values I want to spread. You know, there's something strange about the YouTube journey that I've come to understand after dozens of failed videos. It's not about who is better, who speaks better, or who has a better microphone. It's about who starts the game and who stays a little longer. The world doesn't need more people who just sit and watch videos and scroll. It needs people who stand up, turn on their cameras, and do something silly but sincere people who say, I don't know much, but I'm learning. Those are the ones who are truly memorable. You don't have to be a million-view YouTuber, but you can be a genuine creator, someone who makes others laugh, think, or just feel less alone in the middle of a tiring day. Sometimes, a small video of yours can be the thing that makes someone else believe they can do it too. And if you've been waiting for a cosmic signal to get started, this is it. Just try it. Learn from the bad, laugh at the silly. Enjoy every first view and comment, even if it's from your mom. Play a real game. And who knows? The next inspiration you